Hey everybody, what's up? We're here with the Timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Page of Cups. I'm also seeing Six of Cups here too. Alright, immediately when I see Page of Cups and Six of Cups, it feels like getting lost in memories, or there can be something like nostalgic that's happening, or it can just be something pleasant that you're enjoying. This will definitely be enjoyable, but yeah, this can even be like somebody that you haven't thought of in a while popping up and being on your mind. It feels like revisiting memories. You can be revisiting your past as well. Whether this be something that you're actively looking into, but this would feel enjoyable with the Six of Cups here, because Six of Cups has generally a connotation of like your roots being involved. So maybe there's something from your past that you're thinking about that has to do with like where you came from, where you come from, things that I don't know if nurtured is the right word, but it's kind of like, the way that I'm seeing this is like whatever fed your root system, and that being like what you're thinking about, and that being like the reflection that you give off today based off of sort of like what that was that fed you. Especially from an energetic standpoint. Maybe also too you're seeing the similarities, because if this is reflective of your past and your experience, you can be, and this is you now, you can be looking at yourself now and seeing how things about you, or like the ways that you think, or patterns or habits are reflective of that, of like past things, of past events. So this is like your past stuff, thinking about it, seeing sort of the root system of that, and then sort of what you're giving off today based off of that. So you see how these cards are like almost mirroring one another? How there's like this line here, and this is sort of what's like you've grown up into, or what grew out of what was fed, and then what is given off. So yeah. Some of you, there can be questions about this that you're looking into, just stuff that maybe you're curious about, can just be thinking about it in general. This can also, if I see like a Page of Swords here, which we just have the Page of Cups right now, so this is more so like a revisiting that happens, and maybe less so about information, and more so about like tuning into something as a means of like feeling it, but from a swords want to figure something out or want to understand something. This can be more so feeling something out and not having to think about it a whole lot, or just like tuning into it can be. But if I do see a Page of Swords or something like that coming out, there can be more of a research or looking into something. Okay. This looks like some stuff that you're going through. Feels like historical files. Stuff that still doesn't make sense to you. Things that you're still in the process of understanding. Okay. Having Hermit here, I feel like that's as good as having a Page of Swords here. There can be something that you're privately looking into that could have you feeling a bit perplexed right now, or you just like don't understand it. For example, something could have happened, maybe because we have Page of Cups, you could have had a dream about somebody from your past, or just anything about your past at all. Then Six of Cups will be that like I'm waking up and I'm thinking about that, I'm reflecting on that, I'm remembering some things. Now I'm starting to get curious because something about this, I don't understand it, or it's not making sense to me, or like why did that happen like that? Having Hermit, this can be you privately looking into something. Hermit is about looking for answers, like I want to understand something, as Hermit is the card of Virgo that's connected with Mercury. You know, I want to see what's going on, I want to know what's going on. And also to the wanting to know what's going on is to like better things for you in some way, or to be helpful for you, or to make sense of your life, so you can just see, why did that happen and how did that affect this thing over here? Or like, why did I bump into that person? Or why did I meet that person growing up? You know, it can be like that type of thing that's happening here, where Hermit is like, I want to find answers to this. But Hermit can also indicate something that you're like taking this upon yourself somewhat privately to be looking into. It doesn't have to be a big thing where everybody's included. This can more so be a quest that you are trying to figure out and that you want to understand. I'm trying to put the pieces together. I'm trying to make sense of this. Having a start with Page of Cups feels like you were open to this energy revisiting you. And so it may very much be a time when it's appropriate for you to be looking into this. You can feel like, I didn't have an agenda. I wasn't trying to figure this out or look this up. It sort of just came to me, because Page of Cups is a very, like, I'm open to the cosmic energy and what wants to come through and present itself to me right now. And so it feels almost like this thing found you. You were just open to it. And now you can feel like my response is to want to understand this. This brings up some turmoil for you, energetically, emotionally. But you can also feel like, I have a problem that I'm trying to solve here, just something that I'm trying to figure out. I wonder too if this was something that at one point in time, maybe even still, could have brought turmoil into your life. But it feels more so from a place of, now this is inspiring me to want to work this out. Queen of Cups, Five of Wands. I want to work this out. I don't want to keep sort of carrying this. Because you know what this is feeling like? When I'm looking at this, it's kind of reminding me of this being you having some type of feeling inspired to move a certain way, to do something. It feels like something that you're wearing on your back. And it's reminding me very much of this card here, where it feels like trying to find answers about something. So you can feel like this is a driving force right now. I've been like lugging this behind with me, and I want to make sense of it so I don't have to be carrying it like that. Because it can feel kind of like baggage a little bit. I get the sense that answers would feel alleviating. You can feel a bit stuck on this, actually. All right, so it starts off more light, sort of more you being presented with something. Now that I'm seeing further into the energy, this can be bringing up some feelings of loss that you had from your past, but it can also be bringing up this feeling of, I don't know what can be done about this. I almost feel stuck, because I'm seeing Eight of Swords and I'm reading it like wanting to do something, but feeling like you don't really have options to do anything. Like, I don't really know how to figure this out. I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling like this thing is presenting itself to me like I want to look into it. At the same time, I'm feeling stuck. This definitely has to do with, it feels like a situation unfolding in a way where you could have felt lonely, you could have felt isolated, you could have felt like you lost something, or just it was not really an ideal circumstance. There could have been limitations as well. Even now there can be limitations that you feel in making sense of this. But I'm also seeing Five of Cups, so this can indicate that there was some type of loss that was involved in the past, or something that in the past you could have wished worked out differently than it did. For some of you too, it doesn't have to be you feeling like that's an overall theme within your life currently. For some of you, yes. For some of you, it doesn't have to be. This can be more so putting yourself into the place of when I was younger and I was feeling this, like that was my story, that was my experience. And where you are now, it can be a bit of a different place, because this Page of Cups is feeling like past self. That's obviously still connected with you because you are the everything sort of added up to this point. And then Queen of Cups is feeling like you now, still having something about this thing that had happened that doesn't make total sense to you yet. You cannot understand why something ended the way that it did too. And maybe that's what you're trying to make sense of. The way that things happened maybe never added up for you. And it looks like that may be part of what's being looked into. I don't think it's the only thing. I think it's part of it. But you could have felt too like you couldn't have helped your circumstances, because Five of Pentacles is almost feeling like something beyond your control, and you could have felt stuck, like I don't know what to do here, something is happening beyond my control, and then something like inevitably the cycle closes out, so you're not really in that anymore, you're not really involved with that anymore. Okay, know how I said that if I saw Page of Swords come out that I would feel like there's an investigation happening? Here is Page of Swords. And having it also too with Hermit, what this means, when Hermit and Page of Swords are together, this can be somebody doing like a deep dive on something, you know, like you can be going back and finding like an old like Facebook password or something, you know, it can be like really, you can be doing some type of research, you can be going through like old contacts, can be going through old like photo albums and stuff, or like your school album, it can be like that type of thing. Whatever this is that's happening, it definitely is going to be like research oriented, where there are specific answers that you may be looking for, or just even to understand something more, to have more context for what had happened, and also to maybe like, why is this revisiting me now? Because I do get initially like you weren't looking for something, it feels like something sort of came to you, and you being in a spot where it feels like, well, this isn't coming up for no reason. I want to understand this and see where this is coming from. Why is this sort of revisiting me now at this point? It must have something to do with what's going on within your life currently. So I get in the beginning you just being open to the energy and this thing popping up, and it being something related to your roots, something that you could have also felt like shaped you, and something that still may not make a whole lot of sense to you today, that you want to understand, that you want to even understand like what happened to you energetically or emotionally at that point. Why does that feel significant? I wonder too if this was, you know how we can have certain things within our life that feel like big moments that shaped us? This could have been one of those things for you. So it can be coming up for an important reason, like a very specific thing it feels like this is linked to. I don't see you making a whole big like ruckus out of this. This feels more so like a private investigation that you're doing. But I will say with Eight of Swords, you can want to look into something, but you can feel almost like, I don't know how to do that. You can feel kind of stuck, like I don't really know what my options are here, or I don't even know what way to move. I want to do this, I don't know how. That can also be part of it too. that all of this is something that there can be pain involved in this, and there can be loss involved in this, and there can be I'm recognizing that I don't have like full control of every single circumstance. Like things happen like outside of my span of control. But I'm also seeing a time that something would have elicited something within you emotionally. There would have been a likeness within that situation, especially if it's something like a sense of belonging that you could have felt, or a similarity with someone, or something along the lines of that, where I'm seeing initially there being something that has to do with familiarity or connection. Like you could have even recognized something within another person that felt familiar, but you may not have understood why or known why. And maybe also too, where you are now with things, you have more context and you can be applying it to that past situation. Although I do see something that could have felt very intense in itself, I'm seeing you be more in a mode of being like a little bit detached from that and wanting to go in there and look at things. So you can know that they were intense for the you that experienced those things, but there can be another part of you that's like, I care about the research most of all right now, or the understanding most of all right now, because you can feel like even though that was a part of you, you may not feel totally identified with that part of you anymore. You can feel like you're in a different place within your life now. And even though this is still something that sticks with you and still something that you want to work out, you can be going into this with a little bit of a different attitude. It's almost like, the way that I'm seeing this be, it's like seeing the you that experienced this in the past, almost like another person that experienced it, and you're just the one that's investigating it. But even though you know that this was you, most likely it was you that went through this. It can be another person that went through this and you're looking it up for them or figuring something out for them. But for most of you, this is going to be you. But I'm seeing almost and not in an unhealthy way, not in a like dissociated type of way. This is more so like, I don't really, like I've grown and I'm in a different place now, and so I can go into this with a bit of a different perspective, and I'm going in it to try to understand it, because they're not like the current emotions that you're experiencing. So that's what I'm seeing is going on here. There is definitely a pull, there's definitely a call for you to move in this direction. I do get the sense that something can come of this. So you're not just going back into something and checking into it and it being redundant. There's a way that this can bring opportunity into your life currently. Yeah, maybe you need to find the truth about something. That's what it's feeling like. Yeah, I get there being a seeking of truth. That's interesting. I get the sense too that you can feel like this impacts your path today, and that maybe finding answers having to do with this can clarify something important for you presently. Trying to figure out why something happened the way that it did. Maybe you're also going to find too that there was like significance within that, or importance within it, in a way where when you initially went through this, there could have been a resistance to finding anything like that out, because maybe you like wanted to paint it as like all being bad and this didn't help me or benefit me in any way. And now in coming back and looking for answers, you can be going into it with a mindset of like everything for a reason. There was something in there for me, like what was that thing, or what were those things? And that can be the mindset that you're in when you go back looking into this. And so you can find different things. Because yeah, it can feel like something that you still feel a bit stuck about. I don't know if it's just you feeling stuck about it now, or not sure like how to sort of re-enter into that space. But it does feel like it's going to allow you to seize the day presently within your life, maybe in a way that you hadn't been. Or maybe it's going to illuminate something really important to you about your path or about your purpose or something. Not in a whole, like, be-all, end-all type of way, but more so in a, this is something else that clarifies things for me, that puts things into perspective for me. Because it looks like there are still some things that don't make total sense. And that being the biggest motivator here of, like, I want to make sense of things. And I keep seeing Seven of Cups as, like, an old photo album that you go through. But it can, like, definitely be in a metaphorical sense when it comes to the energy and what you experience and like the emotions and what that brought up for you, and like how did that have you narrating things and framing things, you know, like that whole thing. Like how did this impact your process, and even how you go about like orienting yourself in relation to your experiences, and like where you stand with things and your mindset, and how you relate to things emotionally too. I do feel like this could have been like a hard lesson. I want to clarify the Hermit. Yeah, I just get this again, that it's going to help you make sense of something that you may not have fully made sense of yet. I don't know what exactly is going to happen as far as... I guess it just depends on each of you and what your situation is particularly. Some of you, I'm wondering if this person... For those of you that a person was involved, there may be some type of revisiting, actually, that ends up happening. But I don't know if this is going to be a real-time revisiting. I don't know if this is just like you're going to look into this, or if this is sort of a pre-thing before somebody may like reappear within your life, because that can definitely be for some of you. I was seeing Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck, so it can speak about like something coming back together, something that's been apart coming back together. But this can also just be that part of yourself, you know? A part of yourself that may have like split off during this process that you're going to come back together with, and that's going to be reintegrated. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.